Tom Taylor and Sian Tormey explore Jay Nakamura's dark past as John deals with more of Bendix's mind-controlled post-humans, discovering a choice of his may have cost some heroes their lives. Tom Taylor reveals the secret of Jay's past this issue, wonderfully tying it back to the Revolutionaries, the team he created for the Suicide Squad run of his, and showcasing how Jay met up with them and escaped Gamora. The central plot point of this issue, though, was John learning that he can and will make mistakes, but that isn't a bad thing as mistakes help people grow and learn new things. Tom Taylor perfectly communicated this through a wonderful scene between Park Kent and Batman, paying off a lot of continuity from Tomasi's run to even Scott Snyder's Batman stuff, all to make for a great and important lesson for the new Superman to show the world. It's also a lesson I think a lot of fans could do with learning as well, being as lots immediately think that John should know all of what to do and to be just as good as his father, but as seen all the way back since his reveal as Superman in the future state, John is becoming a very different Superman compared to Clark's. His continued mentorship with Nightwing continued to build that up and is a highlight of the issue, again really making it feel fresh and new compared to their respective fathers' world's finest team-ups. Sian Tormey returns with more fantastic character-focused artwork that makes great use of the page space and small action sequences sprinkled throughout the book, breaking up all of the talking and exposition dumps to help move the plot forward at a nice pace. Superman Son of Kal-El issue 11 was another stellar issue that showcased John learning a few new things on his journey as Superman, as well as giving us a lot of information on who Jay Nakamura is as a person and a hero. I'm going to give this issue a 10 out of 10. Superman Son of Kal-El issue 11 finds Jay trying to contact John, wanting to share something with him when he gets the chance. John meanwhile is in a Justice League Mountain safe house, knowing being invulnerable means he doesn't have to fear many people, but there are exceptions like this time, and no matter how much he wants to hide or how intimidated he feels, he has to stand his ground. John does so against Batman, telling him he's wrong about Jay. Batman knows that he's not, and Jay Nakamura cannot be trusted since he's connected to the group called the Revolutionaries, a team of violent extremists. Superman knows that Batman has been called that before, but Bruce ignores the jab, knowing John is young, emotional, and too trusting, so he can be manipulated, and with Clark gone, he needs someone to look out for him. Superman doesn't need Batman's protection, but Bruce isn't protecting him, but all of those around him since he's the most powerful being on the planet and he needs to act like it. John resists the urge to raise his voice and rip Batman's cowl from his face, but he knows that the hero could be right. Park Kent arrives as John speeds off, offering Bruce some coffee and wanting a word with him. Going outside, Jonathan says that he misses the farm, despite the great view here. Bruce apologizes that they are in danger, knowing that the anonymity they had should have been safeguarded. Jonathan knows that Bruce doesn't approve of Clark revealing his identity to the world, as Bruce thinks that there is an obligation to protect those in their lives who aren't invulnerable. Jonathan knows that he was going to say that, and Alfred knew the risks and he would have been proud to be beside him in a fight. Bruce learns that the Kents and Alfred used to talk almost every week, and he was one of the few people they could confide in, and they were the same for him, since they could talk about their fears, frustrations, but most importantly just boast about their respective sons. Bruce didn't know that, and Jonathan tells him he doesn't know everything, telling Bruce that he misses Alfred and he was a great man and he loved Bruce dearly. Bruce tells the man that he is worried that John's feelings for Jay could cloud his judgment, especially since he's young, but Jonathan knows age has nothing to do with the decisions they made for love, knowing how Batman almost married Catwoman and Damian's mother is an assassin. Batman does admit that much, and Jonathan knows that they have all been there, and he and Martha were probably the most reckless of all, since love led them to raise an alien that fell from the sky, and Bruce even made mistakes when he started out, but Alfred didn't get in his way, so John needs to be able to make mistakes as well. Bruce knows that if Superman makes mistakes, people die, but Jonathan doesn't believe so, remembering how when John was little, he had a pet cat named Goldie and it was taken by a hawk, and he tried to save it, but thanks to his powers not being fully developed, he ended up killing the cat accidentally. Jonathan knows that from that moment onward, his grandson has been overly cautious and he may make mistakes, but he will never let harm come to anything or anyone again if he can prevent it. Batman knows that he could be right about Jay, but Jonathan knows that then John will have to work it out, since he's idealistic, not naive, and everything he's been through, he still looks for the best in everyone. Batman thinks that could be dangerous, but Jonathan knows that Superman looking for the good in people is what they want from the most powerful being on the planet, and out of both of them, he's got the most experience raising a Superman. So if there's something sinister about Jay, John will find it, and it will crush him, but he will find it. Superman meanwhile contacts Nightwing, who is dealing with some arsonists in Bloodhaven. Superman asks if he can help out, and Dick is more than happy to, citing the small fire that John quickly deals with before tying the villains up with a steel girder. Nightwing knows something is up with his friend, wondering if he's been framed for another murder. Superman tells him he's frustrated with Batman, and Dick learns he told John not to trust Jay. Dick tells him that Batman's natural state is distrustful, so it's not personal since something happened to him as a child and he looks for danger in every situation and tries to control it. John asks him if he trusts Jay, and Dick says he's a good guy and he did his research before investing in the truth, but he can't know everything. John wonders if he should investigate him, but Dick knows that's what Batman would do, and while Superman is feeling protective of his family, it doesn't seem like something John would do. John thinks then he should just talk with him, going to see Jay at his apartment. He outright asks if he's part of a global terrorist network, and Jay thinks that's a relief, thinking that John was there to break up with him. Jay figures that it was about the revolutionaries, knowing Batman doesn't know what they really are. Jay reveals back on Gamora he was experimented on, leading to him getting his phasing powers, which turned out to be his salvation, allowing him to escape the facility and board a refugee boat with the others. They didn't get very far though, as the government found them, opening fire on the helpless boat, but luckily the revolutionaries arrived, helping the people and dealing with the Gamoran soldiers. Wink helps out Jay, knowing that he's probably on edge thanks to all of the people being shot at, but he doesn't have to be scared of them. The government needs to be scared of them. Jay knows that they aren't perfect and they have killed people, but he knows that the revolutionaries have stopped a war and saved a nation, and the US government forced them to work for them by putting bombs in their heads. Knowing that sounds familiar. Pulling up some footage on his computer, Jay says that he was looking over the footage from the Gamora Corps incident with the Leviathan, and the moment Sparks died, noting how everyone else in the Corps moved out of the way, but Sparks didn't, almost like he wasn't in control and couldn't move. John knows that the guy that blew up in his arms had a moment of clarity before he died, where it looked like he became a different person. Jay thinks that Bendix is controlling the people remotely, making John remember the Burning Man and how he had Flash look after him, meaning he just put a Bendix control bomb in the middle of the Justice League's hall. Later on at the Hall of Justice, Flash reveals that they have discovered the Burning Man's true identity, saying that his name is Lachlan Shrapnel and he was kidnapped 6 months ago from New York, but he has no memory of any of that. Wally points out that he's in the next room and John can go and see him, but John doesn't want to go to see him, instead watching him through the wall with his X-ray vision, since he might not be the only one looking through Inferno's eyes. John reveals that it's possible that Henry Bendix can control people with the devices in their heads. Using his X-ray vision, John spots the device in Inferno's head, as Wally figures if anxiety can trigger his powers, then the whole hall could burn down if they shared that information with him, so maybe they don't, wondering how they deactivate the device without Inferno or Henry knowing. Wally calls in the Atom, who asks what the plan is, so Wally tells them that they are going to wait until he falls asleep, and then Ryan will enter Lachlan's head and manually deactivate the device. As the Atom infiltrates Lachlan's head and finds the device, Bendix is alerted to Inferno's tamper protection systems being triggered. Bendix demands he be given full complete control of the being, readying to terminate Inferno. Bendix, talking through Inferno, tells the hero not to touch the device, as Superman tells the Atom that he needs to get out of Lachlan's head. Inferno's powers activate as Atom races through the man's burning up head, jumping out of his ear as Superman catches him, protecting him and the Flash from the raging fire. He gives Atom to the Flash, as Superman says that Bendix could blow the bomb up any second, but Wally reminds him they all have the time they need thanks to the super speed, telling John to breathe and focus so he can think his way out of this. John does so, grabbing Inferno and taking him high out of the hall, high into the sky where the air is thin. Inferno says that Superman is hurting him, but John knows that since he grew up with his powers, he never wanted to be a danger to anyone, which is why he practiced constantly with them and knows the exact pressure he's applying, and that he's not not hurting anyone, and Bendix is lying. He knows that Bendix is watching through Inferno's eyes, and he as Superman is an honest person, telling the villain that he should know that he's not lying when he says that he's going to make sure he faces justice for what he's doing and what he has done. Bendix demands Inferno be terminated as John hears the device triggering, knowing that he's seen this before and was powerless to stop it, but he's not now. He begins breathing and focusing as he cuts away the bomb with his heat vision. Bendix is soon told that the device has stopped transmitting, but it didn't blow up as Superman returns to the hall with Inferno, telling Flash that he used his X-ray, microscopic and heat visions together to perform some microsurgery. Lachlan begins to remember who he is as Superman hugs him, welcoming Lachlan back. Elsewhere, Lex Luthor is contacted by Bendix, who says that they are pushing their schedule forward. Lex wonders why they would do that, so Bendix says that Superman knows too much and they need to act now, but Lex knows that a hostile takeover of global proportions isn't the kind of thing you need to rush. Bendix doesn't care, ordering him to kill Superman since it's time for the heroes to fall.